So as mentioned in the last video, I've built everything out for you. You just need to install it into the correct folder within Sierra Chart and then simply load it up. It is that simple. Now don't worry, we are going to do everything together. Just bear in mind that rather than putting everything you need on your platform in one go, we'll obviously do it step by step as we move through the program. So for now, we're just going to install the depth of market, which I have pre-built for you from scratch, and we'll add to the platform as we go along. The first step is to install the depth of market chart book into the correct folder. I've left the file in the download section of your learning portal. Download that file. It should then appear in your downloads folder. Then copy it and paste it the data folder within your Sierra Chart folder, as you see me doing here. It is the same folder, if you remember from the last video, that you deleted the example chart book from. As I said in the last video, my folder is called Sierra Chart 2. I already gave you the reason for that. Your folder will just be called Sierra Chart. Open up the data folder and paste in the depth of market chart book into there. Simple. You can now close this window. You don't need it. Fire up Sierra Chart. It should have saved all your login details as long as you left those boxes ticked, which I asked you to in the last video. Wait for the not connected bar to go green. You can then close the system notification window or any other windows that appear. We want a completely blank canvas. Now, very important first step I want you to do is change time zone. This will only change the time zone on Sierra, so don't worry, it won't affect your PC, but very important you do this. To do this, go to Global Settings, click on Time Zone Settings, click on the drop down, select New York, then hit OK. The other place I want you to do this is File, Data Trade Service Settings, click on Common Settings, scroll down and just make sure Historical Daily Data Download Time Zone is set to New York. It should already be set to New York by default. In case it isn't, just make sure it is New York and click OK. I will explain later on why we use the New York time zone. For now, just take my word for it. It is going to save you a lot of headache later on. Please just make sure it has New York in the two places I just mentioned. Click OK and close this window. Now, what you want to do is open the depth of market chart book you just saved by locating the same data folder, but this time from within Sierra Chart. To do that, click on File, then click Open Chart Book. You can see it's already there. If not, just press Folder and locate it manually by locating the data folder. Click on the data folder, then click OK. Double click depthofmarket.cht and let it load, and you should see some windows like this pop up. Very similar to what you have been watching with me in the earlier sections. Pretty exciting, right? Now, it's very normal for you to be met with this, nothing working. Don't panic. This is normal. I will get you going. As long as you have a green bar here, which means you're connected, you'll be good to go in a few minutes. The only caveat to that is there is no data at the weekends because, of course, the market is closed. Just remember that. You're welcome to try to set everything up as we're going to do in this video if it's a Saturday or Sunday. However, nothing is going to move because the market is closed. I'd therefore suggest you do this setup on a Monday to Friday when the market is open. If for any reason it's the weekend, you can try and just get the basic setup done, no harm if you want, but because you're not going to see the market moving and the connection can be a little hit and miss because the markets are closed, it's perfectly reasonable to stop here, take a break, come back during the week when the market is open and continue. Alternatively, you're welcome to move on with some of the rest of the program, or if it was me, I'd revisit some of the previous videos, but just make sure you come back and do this setup during the week when the market is open. The market is open 23 hours a day, Monday to Friday. It just closes for a reset period of just 1 hour between 5 p.m. New York and 6 p.m. New York. As long as you're outside of that, Monday to Friday, you'll be fine. Now, hopefully, your window's loaded like this, detached from the gray console. If not, I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Now, I've intentionally overlapped these windows because your screen might be a different size to mine, so I wanted to just make sure it opened within your screen. But don't worry, I'll make sure you're able to lay everything out nicely so it fits on your screen perfectly. First, let's just make sure you have data coming through. For now, you can just spread them out a little bit so they're not overlapping so much. Now, before we begin getting your data sorted, you've got two options here. You can have these detach like I have here, or you can have them all within your Grey console. To get them within your Grey console, just go to each window and press Window and Attach Chart Window. Do that for all four of them. Can you see? It's put them all within the console. Then within the console, you can then press Window, tile vertically. It's laid them out nicely for you. I personally prefer to have my windows detached. It gives me a lot more flexibility, but if you only have a small screen or laptop, this might work better for you. I just wanted to give you the option. The way I'm going to build it is I am going to build it detached, and then at the end, you can choose which one you prefer. No right or wrong answer. Now, when you loaded up the depth of market, as I said, hopefully it already loaded detached. If not, we're going to do it now anyway. To do that, just click on them one by one, hit Window, Detach Chart Window. I'm going to do that for all four windows, and then I will just reduce the size of my Grey console so I can see everything. So first thing you need to do to get the data working is press Edit within the Grey console, then Translate Symbols to Current Service, and you should see everything fire up. You can then move the Grey console or minimize it if you prefer to have everything detached like me. Now, very important to note that things like the profile that you see here that we will discuss in detail in later videos, and the chart will need some time to download historical data. Please be patient. Just give it 5 or 10 minutes to complete. Pause the video if you need to whilst that is happening. 5 or 10 minutes later, you should then see everything stabilizing and looking like this. If it still isn't working, please watch the full video. I'm going to give you some troubleshooting tips in a moment. Either way, watch the full video as I'm going to show you how to lay everything out neatly. Now, the reason you needed to do the symbol translation is because I have built everything you see here on my own Sierra chart, which uses real-time order flow data direct from the exchange. Therefore, my symbols are slightly different. Because you have 10 minutes delayed order flow data, Sierra's just converted my symbols to yours. You're welcome to get real-time data. We can help you with that. It isn't very expensive, but I would suggest don't bother wasting unnecessary money right now. Even if it's a small amount, the 10 minutes delayed order flow data you already have is 100% accurate. As you can see here, you can't tell the difference. In fact, you won't even be able to tell the difference when you're practicing taking trades. No difference. And because you're still learning, you don't need real-time data right now. It makes no difference to you, so worry about it later. What you see here is perfect for you. So now that you hit Edit, Translate Symbols to Current Service, it should be working like you see here. If it still isn't working, or you see a yellow symbol needs rollover, click to rollover like this, I want you to ignore that for now. Next step, very important. I want all of you, whether the data is working or not, to do this. It'll be very good practice for everyone and just ensures you're using the correct contract. What I want you to do is one by one, in the exact order that I'm doing it here, I want you to click on Chart, Chart Settings, and click on Symbol. Then click within the square next to symbol like this, and then hit Select, and it should open a Find Symbol window. Now for this candlestick chart, I've already preloaded pound versus dollar, and it should already have opened up a list under British pound CME. I just want you to make sure you've got the latest contract selected. Now I'm building this in 2025. You may be doing this in 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, or even later. It makes zero difference. The principle is the same. I will try to make sure the chart books you're downloading have the latest contract. You don't need to do anything. But of course, sometimes that isn't possible. If for any reason this list isn't already open, simply open up Future CME and look for British Pound CME, then open that up. Then again, you'll see the latest contract there and click OK. Then click OK again. Then I want you to do that for all the other windows. The next window is also the pound versus the dollar. It'll be exact same process as you see me doing here. The third window is the S&P 500 equity index. Again, same process. Chart, chart settings, symbol, select, but this time, again, under Future CME, just scroll down a little bit and you will see E-mini S&P 500 Index CME. And then finally, you have US 10-year Treasury bonds. Again, same process, but this time, very important. If you notice, it is not under Futures CME, it is under Futures CBOT, which is the Chicago Board of Trade. It's a different exchange. We'll cover all of this in detail shortly, so don't worry for now, just follow the instructions. Now, if you didn't have data before, hopefully that has fired everything up. I will try to make sure the chart book you are using has the latest contract already loaded, but like I said, sometimes that is not always possible. And anyway, this is great practice for you to start familiarizing yourself with some of the settings that you will be using anyway as you get more experienced. Now, whatever you do, I know it is tempting. Please do not load other markets. We will do that at the right time. For now, I have chosen these 3 markets for a very specific reason. So make sure you have the exact same markets I have loaded. Pound versus dollar on the chart, pound versus dollar on one of the depth of markets, S&P 500 equity index on the second depth of market, and finally the US 10-year Treasury note on the third depth of market. So hopefully you now have all your data working. If not, before you contact us, please make sure you have tried the 3 things I suggested. Number 1, if it is the weekend, you won't see data, so come back during the week. Number 2, you've tried translating the symbols to current service. And number 3, you also made sure you're using the latest contract as we just did together. If those 3 things didn't work, then of course, feel free to reach out to my team by email. Just do me a favor and send us the message log. That would be very helpful for us. To do that, go back to the Grey console, click on Window, Message Log, then Edit, Copy Log, just paste it into an email and send it over to us. We might tell you to contact Sierra Chart directly, but of course, we're happy to have a look first to see if it's anything obvious. But for 99.9% of you, you should be up and running if you followed my instructions. In the next video, I'm just going to show you how to lay all of this out neatly, maybe change some font sizes and so on if you want. And then after that, we can continue with our learning and even start to play about with this. See you in the next video.